This video is to help out anyone with the VM 2.5 litre or 2.8 litre turbodiesel engine, which came out in vehicles like the Jeep Cherokee or Liberty KJ, or the Holden Colorado, and I think some LDVs and a few things like that. Chrysler Voyager had it too, actually. But yeah, I've been trying to pull my injectors out because my injectors are no good. And these are not easy to do. So what you got to do, if you see in there, you got to pull this bolt off. That's a 10mm bolt, and there's a little retainer clip. You take off your clip here, you pull this up, you unplug that, and in theory it'll pop right out. Obviously theory is wrong all the time, so it didn't pop right out. Oh, and you got to pull off this diesel line here to there. There's 17mm open enders. So none of them wanted to come out on this car. It's a high mileage motor, 450,000 Ks, and none of them wanted to come out. So what I did, I filled the valley with diesel, and I let them soak in diesel for 3 weeks, and I sprayed them before then WD-40. Hope they'd come out. They didn't, of course. So next what I did, I tried to lever them out. Can't get much of a lever in there, so you can't do it. So the next option I tried was to run the car at idle with the brackets. Now I'll show you the brackets. These are the brackets that hold the injectors in. So this sits in around the injector like that, if you see. So I loosened these so they were still in, but with enough play, so hoping the compression from the motor would shoot the injector up, and it worked for one of the injectors. This is cylinder 2. I had to redline it, but it did work. And I got that motor hot, or not hot, I got it to operating temperature in the hope the head would expand and then the other ones would come out. But it didn't work. It's still stuck in there. So the next step, as I thought, stuff it, I'll buy the proper tool. So this is a tool that I bought, injector removal set, and what it is, the Jeep uses 29mm, they're Bosch injectors the Jeep use, and this sits on top of the injector, but you've got to first pull off this hat. And the way this works is this sits like that, and you unwind it. But there's a catch, because the way that it's designed on this motor, the rocker, what do you call it? Rocker cover, where the cams are, it sits too far deep in the valley. So what I had to do, I had to actually cut the end, if you see that comparison, I had to cut the end off the plug to get it to actually rotate 360 degrees, because it would foul on that, this rocker cover, and I can't really take the rocker cover off. So I did that, got it off, cut it. Then I got the slide hammer, which has all these different attachments. This is from the fancy kit. It's a really good tool. I'm not complaining about the tool, I'm just complaining about the car. And all you do is you screw that in, get this, which is, I don't know how heavy it is, but it's at least the size of a sledgehammer, I reckon. And all you got to do is you knock it with 2 hands, and in theory that'll pull that out. Now I've been doing this for half an hour with both hands as hard as I can, and it hasn't worked. So what's my next step on this vehicle? Probably going to be rebuilding. Well, I've already pulled this injector apart. I'm probably going to rebuild this one injector. I've got the internals soaking in petrol, and I have found out, I don't know if you can see, it ain't the greatest of things. so a rebuild will not hurt it. Cleaning it up. Now I probably do need new injectors, but new injectors cost money. So I'm trying to do this on the cheap. So I'm going to rebuild that injector and I'm going to put it back in. And then I'm going to put the brackets for cylinder 2 in tight, and I'm going to leave all the other brackets loose for the injectors and just drive it around, in the hope that one of these brackets that'll come out while driving eventually. I'm just going to do that, and when they do come out I'll just tighten them up, clean them, put them back in, and hopefully it'll just do that. If not, then they're stuck in there forever. And I really don't want to pull the head off this thing or anything. This tool should work, and it's a good tool. It's just so bloody jammed in. They've been soaking in diesel for 3 weeks and they're just stuck. I do not like the design of this engine, I will say that. I love Jeeps, and this Jeep has a great body and everything about it I like, other than the stupid motor. It's actually not a Jeep engine, it's a VM engine, which is Italian. But the Jeep ones were made in Italy, and the ones they use in Holden, Colorado were made in Thailand, and apparently the Jeep one's the better of the two, because it's got a better casting, or so I have been told. So I did manage to get cylinder 1 out, and this one is a lot more crappy than cylinder 2, and it was a real fight, but it ended up coming out with that tool, so that tool is really good. Not easy, but it is doable, which is the whole point. So I've pulled it apart, and this one looks a lot crappier than the last one. Cleaned it a little bit. What I'll just do, so I've got a jar for each different cylinder. I'm just going to let all these bits of them sit in the jar. Relevant light, have a look at that. The shit just on the top. I'm just going to let them all sit in the jar of petrol, and they can soak in the petrol, and hopefully that'll help clean them. That's starting to fall apart. These I ain't going to take apart, I'm just going to leave that. I'm just cleaning the ends. I'm going to label the lids of each jars. I've got 4 jars. Cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4. Take apart these, clean them up with a wire brush. I'm going to get the other 2 cylinders out, and with this tool, if they want to come out, I'll have to cut the ends off of them like that, but that'll be fine, and we'll see how it goes. So this 3rd cylinder does not want to go at all. So what I've done, I got the engine crane and see if I could lift it up, but it just started lifting up the whole car. So what I ended up doing is I had the slide hammer as well as the engine crane. So the idea was, it's always got that tension pulling it up, and I used the slide hammer at the same time. Unfortunately that didn't work either, so I'm sort of running out of options here. It ain't moving, it ain't budging. So I put them back in, I took it for a drive. I did notice it seemed to be leaking a little bit, but when I took it for a drive it blew them the whole way out and broke down on the side of the road, so I had to walk home. So the injector is not sealing with the head, and apparently it could have injector washers. Now I didn't see any injector washers. On the injectors there didn't appear to be any washers, and on the head there didn't appear to be any washers, but maybe there is washers and I didn't see them. And when I put it in, I sprayed it all out with the compressed air gun, and the injectors were soaked in petrol, so in theory they should have been cleaned and it should have sealed, but it didn't. So I'm going to have to do some research and see if I can get washers for this and order them online, and hopefully in 2 weeks I'll be able to get it back on the road. This thing has been not going for the last probably month and a half. Just been fixing stuff, and it just keeps throwing more things, and more things have to be ordered online and all this crap. I hate this motor. This motor is terrible. It's too complicated. The body of the Jeep is great, like, that's all good, but it's got a stupid motor. Yet another day working on this thing. So I pulled the injectors back out because they weren't sealing, to see if I could find these washers. I'm going to try it, but I can barely see. So the idea is now, got a vacuum cleaner, and I'm going to use a long piece of Chrysler tubing to stick it down in there and see if I can suction pull one of these washers off. I tried with a wire, didn't get nowhere. It's the wire, a little hook on the end. But I couldn't seem to grab anything, so I'll try to vacuum. I'll leave this recording. Okay, so redid them yet again. This time I put some washers in. I could not get the original Jeep Chrysler washers, so I just got the right size washers. So hopefully it works. I don't know. It's on charge, and when the battery is charged, because it went flat from cranking it too much last time, yet again, then probably tomorrow we'll see if it starts up. I don't know if it's going to work because they're not the perfect washers for it, but it was the best I can get in town. So otherwise I've got to order the right ones from England, which will take bloody 3 weeks till they show up. So let's see if this works. It didn't work. Cylinder 1 has a compression lead. Now it works. So what I'm going to have to do is take it apart again and get the actual proper Chrysler washers, because just using the right size washers wasn't good enough. So that's going to have to wait till next year, which is only 2 weeks away. But tune back in for round whatever else of the Jeep diesel saga. So now it's all back together and it runs again and drives. But it's still got the exact same problem of being hard to start. So rebuilding the injectors did nothing, and I did all of that in vain. But at least now you guys can know what to expect when you go to pull your injectors out. I ended up getting it fixed by, instead of using the copper washers, I used steel washers, and that seemed to fix it. So yeah, alright, cheers for watching.